Hello and welcome everyone. This is Nitesh Mishra from Federation of Indian Export Organizations, popularly known as FIO, India's apex trade promotion organization. And you are listening to the Voice of Exports, India's first exclusive podcast for EXIM community. On this podcast, we bring top performers from the sector who not only inspire but also reinvigorate among you to become one of them.
Welcome to another episode of Voice of Exports, India's first audio podcast initiative started by FIO for its member exporters and the overall exporting community. Today we have in our program Mr. Prabakaran from VTrade India Enterprises, which deals into FMCG, food and non-food export sectors. Welcome, Mr. Prabakaran.
Hello, sir.
Talking about your company first to start with, how did it started and what does it deal into?
Okay, actually, VTrade India Enterprises was founded by 4 entrepreneurs with over 16 years of collective experience in the FMCG sector. So we began our journey in Dubai in 2022, establishing a strong base in one of the world's key trading hubs. So building on that success, we expanded to India in 2023.
Okay.
Positioning ourselves strategically to manage both sourcing and global distribution.
Okay.
So today, VTrade India Enterprises operated as a trusted exporter and consolidator of FMCG, food and non-food items, specializing in cross-border trade and global supply from India and Dubai.
Okay. So what are the challenges you have faced during your process of exports throughout the years?
The key challenges we facing is building the global trust.
Okay.
Because we have to overcome this through transparency, consistent quality and timely shipments.
Okay.
And more challenges like this regulatory and compliance barriers, because we have to understand the export documentation, this product regulations, this certification requirements, because it's depend on different countries, required continuous learning and these adaptations. So also together with market competition.
Okay. When you talk about FMCG, food and non-food product sector, I think India is one of the key leaders in this sector. How do you see it in terms of bias perspective or somebody from any other country who would like to buy food products or non-food products from India?
Actually, from India, we are focusing this FMCG brands, and moreover, this food items is going well. So we are partnership with leading Indian and this Indian manufacturers who is doing food items for the competitive product portfolio. And we are actually a reliable supplier and consolidator for these global importers through consistent quality and transparent communication.
Okay. What are the key markets you think for such products of India are in the world? Because you are already based out of India and Dubai. So what are the key markets you look at in terms of Indian food and non-food products?
Now the growing market is GCC.
Yes.
So we are focusing GCC countries and Africa regions. And moreover, like we are strong in these islands like Seychelles, Fiji, these Caribbean islands we are focusing because we have a good market for Indian products for these Caribbean regions.
Okay. Do you see any kind of competition coming from any of the countries like China or maybe ASEAN countries, among ASEAN countries, Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, or maybe from some of the African countries where you have different kinds of food products available, different kinds of spices also available?
Yes, actually we are seeing our competitors like this Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, because we are competing these peoples with the global market with Indian food items. So because they are very strong in those items for exports, so we actually facing challenges to beat the prices with them.
Do you see any kind of challenge coming from Africa, because we have similar kind of food products in Africa also?
Yes, absolutely yes. Because few African regions like this Gambia, Zambia, Ethiopia, they are actually competing us in terms of spices and some food items which is also available in India.
Okay. When you talk about the current happenings in world trade now, do you see its impact coming on India's exports and especially on exports of items and products into which you are or into which your company is because of tariff war, because of global trade and supply chain disruption, because of the current the talks going on or the negotiations going on with regard to various kinds of FTAs and BTAs?
Yes, because now India is, for example, for USA, for now India is facing higher tariffs. Buyers in the US may switch to suppliers from other countries with better tariff access or cost structure. For FMCG exports, the landing cost increases, and the US importers look to these Southeast Asia and other regions.
When you talk about the challenges as with regard to these issues, how
Okay.
have you overcome these challenges in recent times?
In recent times, because we also have to find suppliers from out of India. So what we doing is we are whatever we export to US. Now we are concentrating more from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Same goods we will source from out of India, and we send to US for just like cross-border trade.
Okay, besides these markets which you talked about just now, Indonesia, Malaysia, and various other countries from Africa and ASEAN region,
Hmm.
do you see any other country as with regard to market diversification when you speak about all those things?
So far, because we only considering the Southeast Asia region,
Okay.
so we never come out other countries so far from our experience.
Okay. When you talk about, besides these, when you talk about the challenges and various other key learnings which you would like to, in fact, give an insight into to our budding and new entrepreneurs who would like to come into the field of exports, what would you like to say to them?
See, there is 6 points for us for VTrade. So
Okay.
number one is the trust takes times to build. So
Okay.
we need to have be very patient, and this adaptability is essential because this FMCG export industry changes rapidly. So adapting to shifting market trends, pricing, and logistics challenges has been key to our growth. And the third point is strong relationship. It will drive success because we have to make long-term partnership with suppliers like logistics partners and the clients, for suitable business. And fourth point is quality and compliance. And fifth point, we are talking about this teamwork creates strength. So in VTrade, we believe always teamwork because we are from different verticals, collaboration and clear communication have been vital in handling these whole operations smoothly. And finally, the sixth point is continuous learning leads to growth. So which means every market, client and shipments has offered insights. So helping us refine our systems, diversify our offerings, and enhance the customer satisfaction.
When you talk about the key issues and challenges, but you also come across government support and initiatives which is being taken. Make in India and make for the world comes to your mind. How has it helped companies like you?
Yes, actually, Make in India is a good point started. This remittance of these duties and this because, for example, there is a scheme called Road-Up, which
Yeah.
enable exporters to get refund of duties, taxes, and exports are not otherwise reimbursed. So actually, these export promotional councils and sub schemes, and there is a scheme called Niryat Protection and Niryat Disha.
Okay.
So these all they are helping us for trade finance, this credit access, and then this branding and logistics for exporters, especially this MSMEs. And also we actually my manufacturer they have this production linked incentive scheme they have. So this is under Make in India. So
Okay.
this supports manufacturing in India in specific key sectors like these food items so as to boost exports and domestic capacity. And lot of this export facilitation center and this our government is helping for us like for free trade agreements which
Okay.
will get duty benefits to our clients.
Okay. One very important and last question which I'd like to ask you
Okay.
is that how do you see the current scenario, global trade scenario, as with regard to your product categories, and what is the future prospects for your product in your sector?
Our these FMCG brands are increasingly competitive.
Yeah.
Brands from India, exports is like we are exporting more than 70 countries. Okay.
Okay.
My exporting actually from VTrade, our perspective is like this cost advantages and this strong manufacturing base, good logistics, and market access are in good position.
Okay.
So the challenges are like the supply chain, because this rising freight rates, these port delays, regulation changes, these all add up our cost and is makes us very risky. And also like this raw material, this commodity prices or inflation, right? So this packing cost rises, like this consumer also spending pressure in mutual markets to trading down. So cheaper brands, these private label things all come out. So we are facing that challenges also.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Prabakaran, for being so open and so candid in your approach while answering my questions. And thank you for joining this podcast initiative of FIO.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Voice of Exports podcast by FIO aims to provide important information and views on foreign trade, especially on exports, which will help both Indian exporters and importers. Any statements made by an exporter, importer, or an importing company in this podcast as guests reflect the views and opinions of that individual or the company. This podcast does not constitute an endorsement by the FIO of the individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity, the specific information or views provided, resources mentioned, or products or services endorsed or offered by that individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity. FIO assumes no responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or timelines of the information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast, or for the decisions made and reliance on any information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast. We thank you for listening to this episode of Voice of Exports podcast service brought to you by the FIO. For more information on how you can start exporting, please visit our website www.fio.org.